games to pretty hoes, man. Do everything from fly fishing to badminton. Do everything.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 11, Watch Your Lips podcast. If you listened to 10 or if you haven't, we lost a good friend of ours this last week, and we thought what better way to remember him and honor him and reminisce with some of his best friends growing up. This is also part of our league, our fantasy football league, which he was definitely big into. And again, these guys go back a lot farther than I do. Like I said before, I was lucky enough to meet him probably about 15, 16 years ago. And, Jeff and I kind of got to talk about him a little bit the last episode. And this, I kind of want to get, some in-depth stuff from you guys just as a youngster and growing up with him, playing Little League with him or soccer or, going to school. But I think I speak for all of us when we say we continue to pray for his family and we love everybody. We miss him already. And I know there's been a lot of tears this week. And like I said before this, I think it's time for us to smile a little bit because he would probably be making fun of us. Not probably. There's no doubt he'd be making fun of us. And again, we miss you, buddy. And nothing's going to be the same without him. Like I said the last time, it's never not going to be heavy. And for you guys that have known him your entire lives, man, I'm sorry. I love you guys. I thank you for welcoming me into the group and making me feel like family. It's been a hard week, but I think I think everybody needs to get some smiles out and honor our buddy, man. And what better way to do it than with some of his best friends? And so I know Jeff knew him very early and as well as you guys. I don't know who wants to start. If there's anything specific you want to get into, Gabe's been itching over here, and I know Coxie's got some stuff. Who'd like to maybe go first?
Well, before we get into that, let's introduce who we got.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
So we've got Jeff Wright, who was on with us, yes. Corn Dog. Okay, for those of you that listened to episode 8, we've got Corn Dog with us. Mm-hmm. We got Davis Hicks. We've got Jose Hernandez, but we call him Hoser. And then we got Gabe Flores, but we call him Chunti.
And who else is missing from the league?
One thing I will say about Gabe is that he tries to say that he's 5% French. We don't see it, but he says he is.
A little bit. My great-grandmother.
Gentlemen, welcome. I can tell you this, that for me, this has been very therapeutic, to be honest, and I think you guys are going to feel the same way after. Super tough. I mean, I've known AJ virtually my whole life, and I've said it before, but he was my very first friend in Madera. But we happen to know each other through different paths, and I think what we should do is let's just go around the room, and Gabe, if you're itching as much as you say you're itching because you really want to come on Watch Your Lips, but do you got any stories about AJ?
Yeah. So grew up, started playing soccer before wrestling. We started the Madera Scorpions, best soccer club in Madera of all time.
Absolutely not. I mean, everybody in Madera knows that Madera Nitro was, but continue.
I mean,
you guys ain't got shit on them Cobras.
Yeah. So we started off playing the Madera Scorpions. AJ was a sweeper. Is there even actually like a sweeper in real soccer anymore?
Yeah.
Is it really?
No, Jeff would know.
Well, professional.
But, hey, you know what? I'm going to interrupt you real quick. So you met him through soccer?
Yes.
Okay, so AJ had never played soccer before, and I was a big soccer kid growing up. I played travel soccer and baseball, but I kept telling AJ, like, hey, dude, you need to get yourself out there. He liked basketball, he liked baseball, but I'm like, dude, you could be a good soccer player. You're fast, you're small, like, play soccer. And he wouldn't do it. He would not do it. And my dad happened to coach a rec league team, and Kenny and my dad, Steve, were best friends. And he got Kenny to sponsor Basila Ranches, and AJ was scared to play at first. And a lot of people didn't know this, but he ended up being a stud.
Was he scared to play soccer, or was it because of his allergies and allergically to bees and whatnot? And
up? You know what, dude? He was definitely afraid of bees. You're right. You're right. And I don't know if that's what it was, but
can't go in that field, bro.
But that's a good point, dude. That's a really good point. But yeah. So anyway, not to interrupt you, Gabe, but I thought that was just a quick tidbit because he he was scared to play, and then once he started playing, he was a really good athlete.
Yeah, he was our sweeper, and I still remember because he wore a turtleneck, a beautiful turtleneck every game.
Was it gold?
No, we had black and white jerseys, blue, so he'd wear a black turtleneck or a white turtleneck every game. And Ken was the defensive coordinator, didn't know anything about soccer. He just used to say pull up or pull back.
How old were you guys?
We started at 9 or 10, I think, and then we went all the way till when we got in about 6th, 7th grade. We had like Anthony Cardell. Anthony called me last week and said he watched Watch Your Lips. He's a big fan. So I'll give Anthony Cardell a shout out.
Shout out Cardell.
Shout out Cardell. Jorge Campos, a.k.a. Jorge Campos. But yeah,
better than Joao Alameda still
time,
to this day.
AJ, we started playing Scorpions. We did that for 3-4 years, and then his dad took over, well, him and another guy took over Kiwanis. And then the year we were in Little League, his dad either was going to draft me or Roberto Reynoso.
Should have taken Reynoso.
Absolutely. If you're going to have soccer,
I mean, I'm a
if you're
baseball
going to have
coach,
soccer
but-
skills, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And he decided to pick me, so I played for one of the worst Little League teams
in history of Madera Little League.
And AJ, of course, wore his black turtleneck with the Kiwanis.
With baseball pants?
With baseball pants. And it was,
I believe
it
it,
was
man.
like skin tight. It looked like the Ron Burgundy turtleneck. It was beautiful. So, just we grew up, and we didn't really rekindle till I think maybe high schoolish. We all kind of hung out, and so it was man. And like I said, he's been a great uncle to Jet, and been a very, very. He'll call me, just check in on us, and he's just like you said, he's going to be. Nobody could take his place. He'll be for sure missed. He's one of a kind, and he's great father, great uncle. Very inappropriate, which is right up my alley. I love. So I mean, he says what's on his mind. He doesn't really care.
He knew when to be appropriately inappropriate, though.
Super.
Like he could definitely.
He could turn it on and turn it off. He was a
Yeah.
chameleon for sure.
Yeah.
There's
He
no
was a
doubt.
dude that could feel a crowd. He would
Absolutely.
know what to say and when to dial it down.
And that's
or
what I
what
was-
he could say to each person. You know, someone he just met with a handshake, he'd fill him out and be like, "Okay, well, I know I can say this, can't say that, whatever." And then so he'd get in his graces, in their graces, whatever, and then he'd lay down AJ. He'd say whatever,
And then you love
pop
him.
off at the mouth, and
And
whatnot.
then you love the guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I always remember how like it's just weird, like because he had that house over there, and he was remodeling. And I remember during like Sundays and go watch Red Zone and whatever. But like, it was just weird to see a guy that young be such a good host, even to people he didn't know.
Yeah.
That always kind of like caught me, like we didn't know each other that well, but he was so welcoming and like.
So when you went over, was there something like you remember, like when you go over there?
I remember you guys playing like quarters in the pool all the time,
Dude, all the time,
barbecuing.
Toothpick.
Yes, toothpick was
was
the
a
one.
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
introduced that to him.
So one thing I always remember is AJ had a thing. He was known as Captain Big Snacks. Like he'd go over there, dude, and zingers. He'd have
we're gonna throw zingers, dude.
Oh, everything.
I love it,
was
bro.
just- Twizzlers was this, like he just had. Oh, sorry, this is for the ride home.
But AJ was great. He'd always have tri-tip.
Yeah.
Everything.
Always have tri-tip.
Everything. But not like tri-tip like you get, at just, dude, he would go to the chop shop. He had tri-tip marinated, ready. I mean, it was always the best of the best. Really, he, like you said, great host, always had whatever you need, man. Oh, he'd go over there and he seemed like he planned it out before he ever walked through the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was just real. I don't know, man. He had his way with people, and like we said before, I always felt like it didn't matter if different personalities or if this guy's different or if you're different or like none of that shit seemed to matter. Like he could adapt to anything, and he just always went with the flow, man. It was always fun to be around, and I really loved that we had racing because I had no idea his dad was into it, and I think you got him to go to Stockton. We went, and Blackstone went, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's into racing. And then, been a handful of times after that. But what about you, Hose? I mean, you guys got to go, Jeff. You guys go way back, even probably before, in elementary school.
No, actually, me and AJ got really close, like after high school. We got really, really tight, really, really close. We kind of lived nearby, and then especially like I bought my first house, and he bought his first house like right down the road.
street. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you'd walk out my side door, and you could beeline. It was like a 3-minute walk.
Well,
So
I guess we should probably say he didn't go to high school with all of us. He went to
No, he was San Joaquin
He went to
Memorial.
Memorial, so that's so people understand.
Same thing, like went to
San Joaquin.
St. Joachim's.
St. Joachim's, private school, all those goodies, no knock, but I went to public school, so it wasn't. I just knew of AJ more than anything growing up, but like when we started getting into high school, and then like right after high school, then it was on, we used to hang out all the time when we. Like I said, we used to live right down the street. It was a 3-minute walk. I see AJ 2-3 times a week. Go over there and hang out. And he'd come over here, and it was one of those deals where he'd move. He moved back from Vegas, and AJ's. So what really resonates with me lately is that he has this weird kind of. He would like timing was perfect with AJ. So AJ came back from Vegas, and that's when his dad got sick, and he was there for his dad, take care of the ranch, all those goodies. I bought my house, and he was like, dude, man, that's what I gotta do. I gotta get a house. All right. My mom was his real estate agent, helped buy that house right down the street. He closed in on the house, everything like that. Started my own company, things like that. He bought those 20 acres, Basila Ranch, went over there. So it seemed like I was, for the longest time, he used to always tell me, man, I'm trying to do what you're doing, So he started chasing me. But as of most recently, like the last 3 or 4 years, I started chasing him. He got married, he got a kid, all those goodies. So that's, I'm coming up on 2 years, and I'm still waiting on that baby to come. So it's weird how things flip flop like that. He kind of got it the way, and at one point he said, "Hey, you're doing it," and then he flipped it on me, and I started chasing him. And good fucking dude, man.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Man. I love that.
That's awesome.
And Davis, you kind of said,
Hey, was that on Mainbury?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes,
He was.
So
He
my dad lived 3 doors down from AJ.
No
Right.
shit.
Yes,
That's when
I
we
did
started
know about
reconnecting
it.
as well.
I knew about that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
it
him
would-
telling me that Steve
Yeah.
lived right down the
Complaints.
street over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and
So-
Davis, you were kind of the same. I mean, you would mention same situation as me, like later in.
Yeah.
as
I
adults.
met AJ way later in life. I think I met him pretty good through Hoser. Like about that time you're talking about when you bought that house, he bought his house. I went over to your house and like, who's this guy? But AJ was always super nice, man. It was like the first time I met him. Same thing. I remember him from soccer. I remember him from baseball, but I didn't know him at all. I just knew the name AJ. And what resonates with me is just like all you guys are going to say or have already said is how good of a guy he was. I mean, he, like I think Gabe said, he would call on me and check in and see how I'm doing. And that was, for me, that was something different. It's like, yeah, I'm fine. Why would you even think to call me and ask how I'm doing? And it was just legitimately just to see, hey, how you doing? And for me in my first marriage, I had some nieces that my ex-wife brought, and AJ like kind of took them under their wing. They were younger, and he was single and had a bunch of free time on his hand, nothing weird and anything like that. But he was like, you need any help with anything? And I was like, no. Well, you look like you have a tough time trying to take care of those kids and stuff. And all of a sudden, he took them out to dinner one day. Like, for no reason, just 2 kids. Took them out to dinner and was like, they come home and it's like, yeah, AJ took us out to dinner. And it's like, why did he do that? No idea. He was just being nice, And he told me, like, kind of like what you're saying. Like, at that time I was married. I'm so happy for what you're doing. I want to kind of do that same thing you're doing. And it's like, yeah, you'll get there, dude. Just keep going forward. AJ was a great dude, man. I all of my stories about AJ are either funny or him calling me and offering something and asking nothing for return. And, it's hard to say that about somebody when that's all they are to you, is someone who's going to be funny or someone who's going to call you and ask if you need anything and what can I do for you? And that's how AJ was, and that's cool. And that's for sure how I'm going to remember him, for sure.
That's awesome.
Scroll you too.
All right,
man.
Corn Dog.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be tough for you, buddy, but we're here for you. And
Thanks, guys.
what do you got?
Well, so AJ and I were neighborhood kids growing up. We knew each other. I mean, he literally lived around the block from me, so we were always kind of running around in the neighborhood. And doing that type of stuff. Weren't too incredibly close because I had, Jeff Couts and myself and my brother were really, really good friends at the time. So, AJ wasn't.
You're not going to throw me in there?
Well, I mean, Cox was
I mean,
there as well, But like, I'm just saying, in neighborhood
always
kids,
gotta
you
get-
weren't.
I'm just saying,
after the
Jeff.
fact.
I
He's
mean,
gotta get
if
in the
you're
mix,
going
this
to
guy.
say that, I mean, I was there all the time, bro.
I'm specifically talking about neighborhood kids, and you
Oh,
weren't a neighborhood kid.
Not about you, Jeff.
Adopted neighborhood kid.
Adopted
over here.
neighborhood kids because you were hanging out a lot. You were staying over a whole ton. But he went to St. Joachim's, so I mean, we weren't too incredibly close, but we knew each other. And then we went to high school, had Memorial, didn't really have much of a relationship then, and then. Our buddy got a house in Fresno, and one day he went to St. Joachim's with AJ, and was just they had kind of rekindled their relationship, and he was over there one day, and I went, and Hoser was over there and myself, and he comes up, introduces himself, and I'm like, dude, what's up? Like, me, I know you, and that was we were literally like 19, 20 years old at that time, and just started up. I wouldn't even say where we left off. I think we advanced from where we were, like immediately. And we had this relationship after that where, I moved out of my house in Fresno and he moved, into his house and had the house in Mainbury, and my family had moved away, and I was, feeling very, very isolated for a long time and kind of really figuring out how to,
You moved in with me.
Well, yeah, but this was kind of before that as well.
You're leaving a lot out here, corn dog.
I know. We Jake and I moved in together for a bit, and Jake and I always had a good relationship. But Jake's best friends with my older brother, so we had a different relationship, and we lived right down the street from each other, and my family left, and I didn't really felt like I had anybody here, and he was always, he knew like me so well that he could tell when I needed to be with somebody, and I was in my house, I was in my condo, just kind of living by myself, smoking as many cigarettes as I could, smoking as much weed as I could to forget the fact that I'm lonely as shit. And this guy just kind of is there, and he's telling me, you need to get yourself, and you need to be a friend, and you need to be a better person. And you're such a bright, light out there that you don't need to put it out and extinguish yourself. And, I will never, ever forget him pulling me out of those dark days and really getting me to be a better friend, to be a better person, to go out and not feel so angry at everything all the time. And I don't think I would be here where I am at right now with my wife and my family and my career without this person in my life. I would be sitting in a room by myself, smoking as much as I could to forget everything that hurt me before without this person. And it really sucks that he's not going to be here anymore. But at least I can take some kind of solace that I know that I'm never going to get back to that place again, because he would never accept that, and I would never let him down to go back to that place again. So
Hell yeah.
That's fucking chill.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, I'll drink to that,
bro.
Yeah, F&A.
that was kind of hard.
Nah, bro.
that's good, man.
So
That's why we're doing this.
And the other thing, because I know in this last year with this COVID stuff, it's been nuts. I've lost a lot of family members, and I've done my best to always go to the positive memories. Initially, the shock of this last week was, I got fucking hammered because I knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep.
We both did
together. And that's the one thing we said the next day, but not that night to each other. And I'm sure a lot of people felt that, you guys especially. But at some point, I think we all, in times like this, find ourselves going to a point where this dude, just a certain memory that made you smile or something that made you laugh about him. Is there anything you guys went back to that's dude, fucking AJ, bro? Did you guys have any moments like that this last week. I mean, I know it's been a struggle and it's still fresh, but I guess I'll start. When I first got to know him, we were all playing Xbox, big time Xbox, and Jeff and AJ
Halo? Or were you
really
guys playing?
No, we were playing college football.
Yep.
And Jeff talked us into
NCAA?
Yes, talked us into doing a dynasty league. And so Darren, me, Jeff, and AJ all picked different conferences and picked the team, and we played against each other and recruited, and we did that for like 2 years.
Yeah, we did like I think 2 to 3 seasons on that,
and like
it was so much.
We're all playing at the same time every night in our headsets, like
Online,
a bunch of morons.
Yeah,
but we're
like,
we're
we weren't
talking
necessarily
shit.
playing each
No,
other
we
a lot
weren't.
of the time.
We
We were
weren't.
just playing our games and recruiting, and like it was always like a struggle to who was going to get which recruits.
It was really competitive.
It was really fun, and
I just remember that a lot because that's when I first got to know him.
Yeah, we had these
And,
conversations.
it was a
We
lot of
started
fun,
talking,
and he was hilarious. But like I went back to that. I was like, man, the guy was just. He didn't know me very well, but he treated you like he'd known you forever, and it just made me smile. And I don't know if you got. I mean, Jeff, you guys got any moments like that you went back to this last week, or that you even now think of?
It was weird. I went through his Instagram, and I found just going back and looking at it, I can remember every single day, like what happened that day. Just kind of like Hoser said, those Sundays where he'd want to watch fantasy football and we'd all go over there. I mean, he would be pissed at me if he'd call me, "Are you coming over?" "No, I can't make it today." "No, you're coming over. Like, we have this plan. Sundays are ours." So,
Yeah.
And Jet was young. I would take Jet over there and ask, "Hey, is it okay?" And of course it's okay. And I mean, shit, we're there. We're having a good time. And the whole time while I'm there, he's watching Jet. I'm like, dude, just leave him alone. He's fine. Like, he's doing okay. And he's like, "No, we got to watch him." And so just going back and looking through those pictures, man, like he just, I don't know. He just deep down, he was like a great soul. Like, I mean, you don't find too many. I mean, I know I'm very affectionate with my kid, but he's an affectionate person. Deep down, he cared a lot about people.
For sure.
And I mean, being a guy, you don't find too many people
Right.
like
You're
that.
not
Just-
like
That don't shy away from it. You know what I mean?
I'm
They aren't
like that.
embarrassed by
I'm
that.
like that.
I still people that
Kinda.
with my old man, I still hug and tell my dad I love it. Like he did not shy away from it.
No,
Your
yeah.
dad, you nailed that. I
He
love
was
that.
great, yeah.
But you know what? What everybody said going around is that he always put us first.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
He wasn't self-centered. He didn't think about him. He thought about you and what you needed, and when you needed it. And you nailed it, Hoser, because you said timing, right? And he was always, it amazes me. We talked about it on 10 about this helmet that he gave me. That's a 33-year joke, right? That came to an end. And he said it, and he was proud of it. And it took him forever to pull that fucking thing out of the bag because he was pulling his beers out first. But he pulled that out, and I just, the first thing that went through my mind was like, dude, where'd you find it? Like you took the effort to go and find that thing, because I guarantee you that wasn't sitting on some nightstand. And anybody that knows AJ well, he had a lot of memorabilia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was not a Dolphins fan. That was to fuck with me 100%.
I mean, was he really a 49er fan though? The way he talked about the Niners?
He was a 49er.
Joking. I'm joking.
But-
Yeah. Oh,
no
that's the
But
best.
that helmet right there, he had to go and dig that up. And
Absolutely.
what means so much to me is that he went to the effort to go and find it. My guess is it wasn't at his house, that he didn't have it there. It was at his parents' house. And the fact that he kept it packed away for that long, just to give it to me when he gave it to me,
Yeah.
is something I'll never, ever forget.
Well, we talked about that a couple of days ago. The timing was, he was good with timing. I mean, we talked about a month ago, and just a lot of the stuff that I've been through, he'd been going through a little bit, and he's never scared to reach out because he's always there for you. So, he reached out to me, and it was the timing, like you said, with the helmet thing. Like, I think he was, yeah, it's a lot, man. It's hard, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss him, man. It's definitely hard to talk about.
Jake, when did you meet AJ? And then we'll go to me, and then we'll move on to some stuff to get some laughs in.
You know what? It was just before I got married, actually, 2007, 6 or 7, and it was just with these guys. It was going to his hanging out, and I think we actually went out somewhere, and that's when I met him. And then I didn't start like hanging out until, 12 years ago. And I remember when he was getting a remodel at his house, and I would come over there, dude, and he's just telling me all the stuff that's coming, the cabinets, the tops. He's getting his granite, you know what I mean? And
But what about the granite?
That tile backsplash?
It wasn't granite though. Oh, dude, this shit's from Brazil, dude. I got,
on the tile, right? Did he have the floor done too?
All that shit, yeah. Oh, dude, I had to import. Oh, dude, I damn near rented a container just to bring it in. I'll check this shit out.
He was pissed
Well, I'm
one
pissed
time.
if he didn't hire me to bring that container in.
Do you guys remember? I'm going into stories. I don't remember what happened. It was your bachelor party.
Oh,
Okay.
Something happened in the front yard. You guys remember this with like the tree or the bush? Something happened in his yard, and that might be the only time I've seen him mad because like
I remember he was mad.
He
at
was
something
pissed
that
at
they did in
something.
his front yard. Yeah, somebody like ran into it or something.
Didn't Pond like piss in the bush or something?
It might have been
that?
something like that.
I remember he was pissed.
So he had these cypress trees
Yes.
out
And he was
front,
like
dude.
meticulous about this stuff.
But again, these things they were fucking from Istanbul. They came in, had them overnighted. It wasn't. It was
a farmer, right?
Dude, these things weren't from Peter's Brothers. You know what I mean? He let you know, dude. Oh man, whatever. And like I think Pond or something.
Pissed
Pissed on it.
he was
Like
pissed.
so
I remember he was pissed that night.
and that was it.
The party ended after like you guys went back to your house, and that was he shut the shit down.
And that's what he said. Oh, you guys pissed on my tree? Fuck that.
Yeah.
You guys
That's
are
right.
gone.
Didn't he stay? He ended up
He
staying
stayed home,
after
yeah.
that 'cause he was so mad.
Yeah, he said, I can't believe you guys pissed
'cause,
on my tree.
I mean,
That
it was
was
a
it.
great time.
I mean, we had a blast.
It was a
So
fun
somebody
time.
peed on
My
the tree.
brother had a blast.
That'll always do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, your brother. Oh my
My
god,
brother had a great time.
That's so funny, bro.
The greatest time of all time.
I think Davis and I were the only ones that were like able to. And Jordan too. Yeah,
They kind of remember something.
we actually paid for bottle service at. Can I say where?
Gold digger.
At Gold Digger. We actually paid for bottle service.
I
Yeah,
was not there.
I think
remember
Dave.
that.
Well, I did. I can tell you that
I'm not surprised.
it was awful.
Yeah, that was
Bottle service at Gold Diggers.
I know.
That
I
was
was
awful.
pretty bad.
Not proud of it, Jeff.
No,
That-
Yeah, you shouldn't be. I mean, my office used to be my dad, and I owned a building.
Yeah,
right, down
right
the street
there.
from
That's
there,
right.
And
That's right.
I honest to God, never stepped in there.
Yeah, you don't want.
Honest to God, I never did.
It's no fun.
you crawled in there, bro.
Gabe, don't give me shit about that. I didn't do it.
Hey, what about him athletically, real quick? Because he played for Kiwanis. I want to.
AJ.
Who was better?
Me or him?
Yeah.
He was older. He was in the majors.
What does that
before
have to
me.
do with it?
Well,
Gabe, you're a
apparently,
state champ. You're better, dude.
apparently,
Don't
like,
fucking don't put it around the
I
bush.
was more
Let's go.
athletic, but AJ worked very, very hard. He worked hard, and he never missed practice. Like I said, Ken ran the defense.
You were sick half the time. Like you didn't go to practice, right?
No, I had wrestling practice.
So he was better, dude. I mean, let's be honest.
I
He
would
was
say
better than you.
honestly, baseball he was probably better. I wasn't a big baseball guy, but soccer I was probably a little bit. But we played different positions. Like I could kick left and right, and AJ was a sweeper, and he just booted the ball. So righty.
I got a little AJ story when it comes to athletics. I think you might have been there, Hoser, but this is probably like 2008. And AJ sitting around, and it's some of the guys we were doing a fantasy football league, and one of the guys in the league was Mark Flores, who played baseball JC. Not anything great, but played baseball JC, right?
Yeah, no Mark.
And Mark was there, and AJ was bullshitting, and AJ's been drinking, but he wasn't, just a normal day. And he's like, "I'll go hit a fastball off you right now, right?" So we start having a legit conversation, and AJ swears up and down, swears to God. You give him 8 pitches from Clayton Kershaw, he can get it. He can get it to the wall. And I mean, this is him.
To the
This is
wall,
him.
not just make contact.
Not
Get it
make
to the wall.
contact, not foul it off, not get it out of the infield. It'll at least roll to the
He's
wall.
finding a gap.
All right, so it's like, okay. So then we start talking about Mark Flores, and it's like, do you think you could hit off Mark? Mark, how fast did you throw? It was like low mid 80s, and he's playing college baseball a year and a half ago.
Mark was good. No.
AJ, when's the last time
was
you swung
good.
a bat? I went to the batting cage a couple years ago. All right, well, you think? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, can he throw changeups? Can he throw whatever? He can throw whatever he wants. 3 pitches, there ain't no chance I'm not hitting it to the wall. And I'm like, AJ, do you even play baseball? Well, I played Little League. Okay, all right. And then the story turned to 4th and goal on the 1 yard line. You're telling me I'm running back?
This is the one.
You're trying to tell me I can't get a touchdown, 4th and goal on the 1? It doesn't matter who you are, what team you play for. You put me behind the Texans. If I'm the running back, there's no way I'm not getting a touchdown on 4th and goal from the 1.
So good,
and I
bro.
mean, you can have this conversation with him for an hour, and you're not convincing him otherwise. It just no matter what you say, there's no way. All you got to do is fall forward, and it's just like, all right, AJ, we'll see.
When the best out there can't do it.
Yeah.
But, give it to AJ. How can I put AJ in? Yeah, he'll get it.
I'm sure the story came out because we watched somebody get stuff on 4th and goal, and AJ's like, God, I could do that. It's like, really? Could
And
you
that's
really?
exactly what
No, I
happened.
really could, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How many years of football you play? I never even put on a helmet. Only helmet I've ever worn is the fucking
dolphin.
Put that on.
Yeah.
Because he knew it was small. Because I got a small head, and I tried to put it on, and it won't fit.
Also, his noodle didn't fit in there.
No, his noodle didn't fit in there,
no
for
way.
sure.
What do you go back to, Coxie?
Oh, man. So you know what? I actually had to call my mom, to be honest. And I said, Mom, how long have we really known the Basilas? And she said that you were there when AJ was born. And there was a picture of Kenny and me and Sarah and him holding AJ. And I told my mom I really want that picture.
It's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
So, our families were super, super tight. But, a lot of the stories that I have about AJ are when we were kids, just raking havoc on his house. I mean, let's be honest, man. His family had a lot of money. They had a lot of money, so he had a lot of stuff. And we would go in and just rake havoc on his house when his parents and my parents would leave, and just pizza nights, like he said, and we played a lot of Nintendo. And Jake, I was telling you this story, but way back, there was a game before FIFA called Goal on Nintendo.
Goal is great.
And Goal, at that time, you could not pause Nintendo. Like, you couldn't save your progress, right? And AJ's like, dude, we gotta muscle through this. We gotta go all the way through. And I'm like, bro, there's like 60 teams that we gotta get through. And he's like, what else do we have to do? Our parents are gonna be out drinking all night. Let's just play Goal all night. I'm like, all right, let's go. So we played Goal all night long. It was like 7 hours long. And we beat the game. And he was so proud of that. Like, he was so proud of that. But the little things for me that are huge is, like, he used to have this little tiny basketball hoop, like a mini basketball hoop, and he had a mini basketball. And we would act like Jordan and Magic Johnson and me, because I'm white, I'm Larry Bird, and I'd shoot left-handed and right-handed, and but we would just play for hours and hours and hours. We'd hide and seek, swimming in his backyard. And then it turned into, he went to college. I went to college. We kind of, and I went over this a little bit on 10, but we separated a little bit. And then thankfully Jeff invited me into this league. I've won it twice since we got in here. And AJ always said, well, I've won it 3 times. And I'm like, bro, you've been in the league 7 years before I got here. I hope you've got one more championship than me. But Jeff brought me in. And AJ and I just, we hit it off right away. And one of the things I wanted to say is, we had a side text going on, and Gabe was involved. Okay. And this was to basically conspire against the entire league. But really,
it wasn't against the league. It was against the rights.
It was
against John, Darren, and Jeff.
Not Darren and John so much, but really to just fluster Jeff. And
it worked every time.
And it worked. So to put it in perspective, Jeff, at times, and forgive me, okay, but you can get sensitive, right? You're very passionate, and I love that. But you can get sensitive, and AJ knew that, and I knew that, and Gabe knew that more than most. Yeah. and we knew exactly what buttons to push. And AJ would constantly go. He would start this group text, and he would tell Gabe and I, like, just keep firing until he breaks.
Well, he would tell me,
and he's like, let's get him to the end of the cliff and just nobody kick him off. I'll pull it back as soon as Jeff starts to go haywire. And every time, man, what gets me about AJ is his heart. Okay, his heart was so big, is that even though we were joking with Jeff and constantly screwing with him to try to get him so worked up, as soon as it got to the point where Jeff was going to break, AJ would yank it back, and he would pull up something like we were Austrian Jews, and we didn't know what we were talking about, and just completely go haywire. Like just it would go some other location. We
knew when he was going to break because AJ would send us screenshots of you singly, like texting him
on the side.
They're being idiots, man. Like I don't know why they're getting so mad and so stupid. And me and Jeff were just loving it. We
loved it. But
so the moral is, Jeff, is don't buy into the heat that they bring you.
So
fire.
The way I typically react to these things is, of course, I am a sensitive man-child, and I have been for most of my life. So I do like to play into that a lot. So I feel like maybe I am hamming it up at times.
That's how you're going to play this off?
I'm going to play it off like that.
Okay.
Let him have it.
Let him have
I'm going to have this.
All right, go ahead.
And no, it gets to me for sure.
Yeah, it gets to you.
Well, because I put in so much work and try to do such a good job for you guys. When you tell
spreadsheet.
me with the spreadsheet, when you guys tell me, that I'm the worst commissioner on the planet.
So wait a second. You're talking about. It's really. Gabe is the ball buster of the group.
Gabe has always been the ball buster.
AJ was right there, but also I love that he's texting you guys to keep it going
all the time.
But it was more so you guys, and then AJ would occasionally chime in, but they're the assholes.
Well,
it's not.
Yeah, but really, it's AJ.
They're the assholes. Hey
what
guys.
was irritating was
he was behind the scenes.
Puppet master,
what
AJ.
It was irritating was at one point it was basically me, Cox, and AJ, and then Hoser would throw a really good one every once in a while, but we never hear from Jordan. Davis, Jeff would only send some of you complaining,
but we
never saw Donnie maybe once a week.
True, and we would flood this 80 texts deep on purpose, just to somebody, if they were busy and they get back to their phone, they're like, "Holy shit, I got 80 texts."
Well, that's why
wondering why no one replies.
I would be
wondering why no one replies.
How about this? I'm at work and I'm getting FaceTime from Jeff Cox. I'm like, "Oh damn, dude!" And then he's calling me. I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm talking to a kid right now. Stop talking to the kid and answer my call. This is important." I'm like, "All right, man." So I had to step out and, dude, we got to get Jeff. We got to do this. AJ's calling me. It was. And
Gabe was always like, "Dude, I thought this was important." I'm like, "There's nothing more important than this right now. We've got to keep going, because if we give Jeff any break whatsoever, he's not going to break. So we got to keep going."
There'd be a couple times where Scro, don't. They're doing it on purpose. Stop.
Wait, he would call or text you too?
No, I would text him. I would text Jeff.
AJ texted me a few times on the side too, "Hey, just say something stupid right now. Just say something stupid." And it's
because everyone started ignoring me, and I can only go so much. Somebody else needs to chime in here.
Because I feel bad I've known Jeff forever. I don't like to get him upset.
I have too, but I love getting upset. I love calling you and apologizing and say, "Hey, man, it's just my personality." I'm sorry.
But there was a time where we were also playing video games together when that would happen, and we're talking to each other on the headset, and it's hard for me to chat. Also, like Jeff said, I'd turn the notifications off because there'd be 130 text messages.
Absolutely.
But let's let his personality shine through. And I think one of the things that would be good is you shared with me his Facebook profile page.
Loved
it. How did he pronounce his name?
So I went to look, and it was I was gonna look at pictures just to go, And the very first thing I see on is Anthony Basila, and it's pronounced fuck Zuckerberg. Ew.
Hello.
That was Anthony.
And I was just like, bro, I need to go any further.
Well, how many times did he get suspended or kicked off?
Oh, I don't even know. I know there was
Facebook.
Was there a couple? I
think he did 3 times in a row.
He said one because I saw him. He's like, "Welcome back," or he said something. I remember seeing that one.
The old Facebook jail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My favorite, it was recent. His Jimmy Garoppolo
That was
card,
hilarious, dude.
thrown in the pool, and it makes me laugh. And if you're watching or go to his Instagram, and it's one of the recent ones, it's the next morning when he goes out to get it, and he just bends over and he grabs it. I don't know why it's funny. He's just like, this fucking loser.
And then he takes a hammer to it.
Yeah, you got to hear him say it. I can't do it justice.
It's hilarious though, because then Hoser and I were over there a couple weekends ago, and it was like the week after he did that. And he's like, hey, you want to see something? I'm like, yeah, what's up? So he takes me to the back of the house and he brings that card. He's like, look how good this fucking case is. This card's not even ruined. I don't want this card. I can't kill it.
Kill it. Yeah.
Then he's showing us the video, you know. I was like, yeah, that's AJ.
When I heard the news AJ passed, one of the stories that kind of kicked in, like saying, you know, you always fuck, you know, yeah. And then you're gutted, and then you think of what's a good story, because you try to flip flop, you know, you always try to go with the good with the bad, you know. And he had an apartment. He lived on Herndon and something, I don't know, dude, on the upstairs somewhere.
Was that the one on Shaw next to the
It was on Shaw. Yep. Yeah. So one day, I don't remember. I think we were all over there. I can't remember the scenario, but we went over there. We were going to go to a movie, something like that. So we go in there, and you know, AJ answers the door. Bro, you got to hear this shit. And I'm like, what? So you go in there, and we're in his apartment. He's like, shh, listen. And the fucking people downstairs are having like a seance or some kind of weird thing. You hear like fucking this crazy ass, I don't know, it's pig Latin, I don't know what the hell it was. And they're going and going and going. He's like, AJ goes, this is the shit I gotta live with. And he's like, dude, this happens all the time. They get together, and he's like, dude, there's fucking 20 people down there, you know, doing this. And I'm like, fuck, this is what you gotta deal with, you know. And then so
Was it actually pretty bad, or was he just really like talking it
Oh
up?
no, it was
bad.
it was. I mean, yeah, I don't. Who knows what the hell they're doing down there, sacrificing something? You know, yeah, it was really strange. Something like, you know, you see in a movie, you know, and all you could hear is just like vaguely, and I don't know, it might have been someone banging on a drum. I don't fucking know, you know, but they're like, it's, you know, and just crazy ass shit going on. What the hell are they doing down there? You know, I don't know, but I don't want to find out. So let's dip. Let's go to this, you know, Fast and the Furious. I'm sure it's a Fast and the Furious. AJ loved Fast and the Furious. Dude, he's seen all fucking 13, 14. I don't know how many they get out now, but dude, that was his jam, dude. Every time they'd come out, oh, dude, let's Vin Diesel. Let's go check that shit out. You know, yeah. One-liners, because that's what AJ was. Yeah, dude. He had one-liners for nights, and it was you know, it wasn't. I don't care what you said. AJ had something to kick over the top of it.
Very quick-witted.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So quick. That was one of the things that AJ did.
You mentioned what he said about Dak Prescott or the Cowboys at dinner.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and that was on the podcast. But
I said it earlier.
You know what? We did in episode 3. I don't know if you guys had listened to it, but he brought the how many fights should you be in? What was it, before high school? What was that?
No, he said every kid by the time they're, you know, an adult should have been in 2 fist fights. Okay, so we talked about this before, and we're at the 45-minute mark. But we said that we were going to stop for 5 minutes and let Jeff and Gabe fight.
Oh, we're gonna fight?
On camera.
Like fist fight, or we're gonna like argue?
You guys are going to fist fight.
Well, I have a broken hand,
AJ.
guys.
I'm gonna wrestle.
It's an excuse. I mean, I'm kidding, Jeff. I'm kidding.
I don't want to fight Gabe. I like Gabe.
What I'm getting into is, so he mentioned that fist fight, right? Uh-huh. And Jake rudely interrupts him on episode 3.
Guy, always.
And you know, he called me and he goes, "Hey, do you remember my first fist fight? You were there." And I said,
"Did he lose?"
No, he won.
Wow.
And that was it. That was one of his 2.
Probably.
No, he said he went 2 for 5. So I can attest to that he definitely won one. But I also won one at the same time because it was a group of brothers. So he lived across the street, and now he wouldn't care because he wanted to call him by name on episode 3, and I wouldn't let him. But the Van Wagners lived across the street from him.
Yeah.
And Alex and Andrew. And they would constantly fuck with AJ when I wasn't around. You know,
They were
because
little
it
shits.
like
They were
bully,
little
right?
no,
assholes,
but it was 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Right? And AJ was a smaller kid. Alex was a little overweight, but Andrew was, he was older. And so AJ and Alex and Andrew are playing basketball across the street. And my parents drive up. They're getting ready to go out with Kenny and Velta. And I just see, I look over, and I don't say bye to my parents. I just get out of the car and I go over and walk over to the basketball court, his driveway. And AJ's he's like, dude, these guys are messing with me, and I'm gonna fight Alex. I don't want to fight Andrew, but I'm gonna fight Alex.
The one you can take.
And I go, well, dude, I'll fight Andrew. That's fine. I mean, go ahead, And he's like, well, let's just play 2-on-2, and if it gets too crazy, I might need you to,
Did he say play?
So
Play 2-on-2?
Yeah, we were playing 2-on-2, right? Okay. Them against us. I got it, Gabe. Thanks. And so anyway, I go, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in and we're going to foul hard. We're going to throw elbows. We're going to, whatever, dude, headbutt them. It doesn't matter. Piss them off. Okay, let's provoke them. And, because they were messing with you. So we get to the point where him and Alex get into it. And he's just beating the shit out of Alex. And Andrew runs over, and he's trying to grab AJ. So then we're both fighting, right? And they're both laying on the ground by the end of it. And AJ and I are both scared. We're 10 years old at the time, maybe 12 and 10. And I'm like, dude, we got to get out of here. Well, we didn't have very far to go. He lived right across the street, right? So we ran over, and we go through his garage, and we go in the house. And 5 minutes later, the Van Wagner's dad comes in and knocks on the door. And Kenny answers. They're getting ready to leave. And I just remember he opens the door, and he's like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, the boys over here, roughed up my kids. And Kenny shuts the door on him. He just shuts the door on him, and he goes, hey, what the hell happened? And I'm pointing at AJ bro, this is you. You started this whole deal.
You sold him out?
No. I'm like, it's your dad. But it's not my dad.
Sounds like it.
I mean,
so he goes, yeah, here's what happened. And, we got in this fight, and it turns into Kenny is almost fighting the Van Wagner's dad.
Oh, shit.
And he shuts the door on him, and it's over. But, just for AJ, he wanted to talk about that story. I probably didn't do it as much justice as he would have done. Yeah. But it was hilarious. You know how it went down. So he did win that first fight. So I know he won 1 of 2 for sure.
I thought that was a great topic. And it
was a great topic.
Is 2 enough?
I've been in a lot of fights. I mean, when I went to college, I got in a lot. So, but they're not.
That's past the threshold of what he was saying.
Oh, you're talking about
when you're a kid. You're not supposed to fight as you're an adult.
What was the age? Was it high school?
I said up to high school, yeah.
I think you said just kind of your little manhood kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
That's when you kind of step up from being a
Is 2 enough?
To
what is it? What is a solid number? I thought I've
3 or 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think 3 or 4.
I mean, 2 I feel is good as, if you win 1 and you lose 1, I think you're good.
Well, if you're 0-2, you shouldn't. You probably need.
Yeah, you probably should
reevaluate fighting.
You need 3.
Hey, if you're 1-1, you don't want to get that second win.
I mean, I feel at that point you got the confidence in getting 1 win, and you got your ass kicked, which I think everybody deserves at one point in their lifetime. So,
true.
Yeah.
I think that was AJ's point, right? You can kind of gauge yourself as a man against someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, I could whoop this guy's ass.
But it's also the lesson maybe you learn from fighting too.
That's it. Yeah. I don't like get punched in the nose.
This is not my game.
You know what's funny is after we got through episode 3, because you guys can hear it, a lot of things go through our headsets. There's a lot going on, right? And you're thinking, and he's like, man, Cox, I really wanted to say why. everybody needs to fight twice, at least twice. And he never gave me the answer, but he really wanted to come on and just like, he's like, dude, if you have me back, please just let me go into that again. I know we were hitting it. I'm like, no, that's what Watch Your Lips is. You know, you can come back on and say why everybody should fight twice. So he didn't get to say it, but he was pumped about it. I mean, he was passionate about every single man should have at least 2 fights.
EJ was big on, too, you got to have a good handshake. I've heard him talk shit about people with lame handshakes and shit.
Oh, yeah, the limp handshakes.
Oh, dude, the limp
yeah.
Shit's lame, like FDR's legs or whatever.
I'm a limp handshake kind of guy. I mean,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, does it really matter? Do handshakes really matter?
Yeah. And you look people in the eye and you shake their hand firm.
Yeah, but I just, good little. It's not very.
You're much more of a slap on the ass guy,
wrestling
right?
handshakes, right? Like the really fast handshakes. Like,
Yeah, just
we're going to do it. Like that.
Did you feel one?
Yeah.
Did you feel it's not very?
No, it's loose.
So AJ
wouldn't like that.
AJ, yeah. He would have hated mine.
We were on hugging terms. I don't think I shook his hand for probably the past 15, 20 years. So
Yeah. He was a hugger.
We hugged all the time. Told that dude I loved him every time after I was done too. So it's,
I think it's something we all do.
yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We kind of started that as a joke. I think it was like an old school reference. We just used to say like out of the blue, "I love you." You know, as we were getting off the phone with you. All right, dude, take it easy.
All right, love you, bye.
I love you. Yeah. And like that's how we used to do. But like it literally turned into like we're all bros. We love each other, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're gonna tell each other because.
Because in a time when shit like this happens,
you never
you
know.
know you got to take it that little extra every time you get a chance.
And
right?
I remember-
So when you meet someone, or especially how close we all are here in this room, it's one of those deals where, all right, man, talk to you later isn't fucking enough.
No, it's not enough.
It's not because we don't know when later is. We don't know anything like that. But the last time you said bye, he said, "Hey, love you."
The thing, that's exactly right. I talked to him about a week before he passed, and that was literally the last thing I told him was that I loved him, and I can take solace in knowing that I did tell him that the last time I talked to him.
Same here.
And it feels good. So I'm happy we did that, and even if it did start as a joke, it became something very nice and very serious. So something we always said, and I still will tell every single one of you guys after I get off the phone with you that I love you. So. And I'll continue to.
I know, bro.
I do too.
And even with Hose, I mean, like we go back a lot. Like I know Darren was pretty shitty to him. Not so much now, but
No, we have a great relationship.
I just always liked you guys. You guys were for being younger, because you always see the older crowd kind of pick on the younger guys. But
Hoser, you were married into family, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know that,
No, absolutely.
but we are actually family by marriage.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's kind of the deal with my situation is like that's the family I have is who I married into. That's who I'm most close with. The Wilkins side. It's just that's what really truly rings and resonates when I say, hey, that's my family. That's who took me. That's who took me in, accepted me. He's go to houseboat, all that shit. Friends, family, cousins. Everything like that is mainly on the Wilkins side.
What was the name of the houseboat?
The Cuddy Sark.
That a boy. That a boy.
The Cuddy
I was on the
Sark.
same one.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, when Jeff came into the picture, it was like I don't even think I really knew your dad, until it kind of like later in your life, and he kind of started coming around a little bit. It was just
he chilled to a football game.
Yeah,
It
was Jeff was just around all the time, and that was Pops. Like that was it. And it was just,
absolutely.
Yeah.
He would drive down Pine Street and give you the. Remember, Hoser? That's it. Dude.
What's up, dog?
He wouldn't say anything, and he'd just go outside his window.
Yep.
And the UPS in his truck, right?
In the truck, and then he had a little white car when Brenda first married him.
Dude, he
white
had
Corolla.
white
Corolla?
No,
I don't
it was a Jetta.
I think it was a Jetta.
It was a Jetta. Yeah, dude, that
But
interior was
dude,
fucked up.
He would just roll out, dude, and like right down the street, and that's it.
Later.
Like, give us a what's up. Like I'm leaving, but
Yeah, just like
I see
that.
you guys.
Yep.
That's cool.
Well, I had one thing I wanted to say that, AJ really loved the fact that I was a big goofy bastard, and that was literally his favorite thing about me. And I used to hate it. I used to hate as clumsy as I was, and it happened, and he's like, dude, I just love these stories when you tell me these things, you know. And he saw it in person. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't Jose. It was Pond that was with us. We went to the Chowchilla Fair, and you know, I was trying to meet some new people at the time, and I was there to meet a girl, and we went and ended up meeting up with her. And the first thing I did was I had a beer in my hand, and you know, she comes up and she's like, "Hi, Jeff, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey," you know, and I go to go to shake her hand, and I had my beer in my hand, and when I go to shake, you know, and AJ's standing right next to me, I just knocked the beer right out of my hand.
Thump.
Okay, just thump right out of my hand, and as I was going into like hug her, and then like I did halfway, and I was like, fuck it, you know, like I'm fucking done. She's not gonna fucking do anything, you know, like this is stupid. What am I doing? I just ruined it, of course. And AJ, I look over and he's just fucking dying laughing, standing right next to me laughing, and like she's like, hey, you know, and then that was kind of it, you know, and then she walks away, and AJ's like, you're fucking tall, dark, and handsome, dude. Of course you're a fucking clumsy bastard, and I love it, dude. This is the best thing about you. Embrace it. Love it, dude. It's so funny, man. Just embrace it. And every time that something like that would happen, the first thing I would do is I would call him or text him, you were not going to believe what the fuck I did. And I went to a wedding recently when my good friends just got married, and his wife was walking down the aisle, and I fucking stepped to the side because me being a big tall bastard, I wanted to get everybody's way. And of course, as I do that, I knock over this glass planter, you know, as the fucking bride is walking down the shit, and I'm like, well, there goes fucking Big Right doing his stupid shit again, you know. And that's exactly what I did. The next time I saw him, we went out to breakfast. This is one of the last times I hung out with him, and I told him the story, and he's just like, God, I fucking love you, dude. I love when you tell me these stories. These are amazing. And you know what? I'm not a religious guy or anything, but for the rest of my life, anytime I trip over something, anytime I knock a glass out of my hand, whatever, I know that fucker is right there next to me doing that fucker.
Clowning.
He either did it to me or he's fucking laughing at me as I'm doing it. So
He's gonna be there every time it happens.
I can take, you know, some at least a little bit of that for the rest of my life, that, you know, he's probably either doing it or laughing at me just to make sure that I'm gonna remember him for the rest of my life. And I just think that's beautiful. So I wanted to share that to you guys.
Beautiful. Well, true AJ fashion, about, I think it was at 58, he left. So
I want to say,
I'm going to bounce. I'm going to bounce just for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm going to come back.
So one quick thing AJ said, when Hoser and I went over there last time at his house, just a week or so before he passed, he was saying how much he liked doing this Watch Your Lip podcast. I mean, he talked about that with us for like an hour. Would not shut up about how fun this was and how cool of an event this was and how he couldn't wait to do it again. And so I just thought that we have to put that on air, that AJ was, I mean, he was bragging about how fun it was and how much.
And that day he wanted to start his own.
We were talking about
he had
starting
this
our
idea,
own
dude.
podcast,
I think I could do something like AJ was one of them dudes where he thought he could do anything.
Yeah.
You know, and the deal is that, you know, AJ, I don't know your skills or whatever, you know what I mean, but fucking try it. Knock it out. You know, do your thing.
4th and goal, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
You know what,
right.
though? You know what? You say it like that, and it's not like he wasn't cocky.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, it was.
He really believed
He did have a self-belief that
to the death, he would get that fucking.
Yeah.
He would get that first down. He thought there was no doubt about it. Like I said, it wasn't cockiness.
No.
It wasn't anything like that. It was.
it didn't come off that way. It didn't come off that way.
And he wasn't joking. It's like, no, I'm serious.
I can tell you, right? I have no doubt in my mind he would have really been good at doing a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No question about it. The way his mind worked, the way, again, we talked about him being quick-witted. There's no doubt in my mind. And put you guys in a room, Jesus Christ. I mean, it would have been hilarious. I'd have loved that. And I would told Jeff, no joke, that day I was like, bro, that was good.
Yeah.
Like
he's good at that.
We didn't really have a lot to prep, but he just knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he was good at it.
He was pumped about it. He was so.
I told Jeff, and I mean it wholeheartedly. I would have loved to continue to do this with him.
Well, we were going to continue.
We were, but I'm just saying, like, I was like, this is the kind of thing, this is the avenue. And at the time, like, I'll be honest, he was kind of searching for something to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he even asked us like, keep doing it. And I was like, yeah, bro. Like it was fucking great.
Yeah.
It really was.
I'll be honest. I mean, he reached out to me first, and he said, "I need this. I really just want to come on. I love listening to you guys, and I just want to be on." And then he joked about, he's like, you really got to bring more vulgar into this. Like my episode is the only one that has explicit on it. So, and
that was by accident.
And that was by accident, but it was a lot of AJ's blips, that he brought into it. But I thought it was hilarious because he's just like, bro, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like what you guys are doing is awesome, but you need more vulgar. Like you need to bring more stuff.
He's got a little more like give zero fuck mentality than I do or than anybody really.
Well,
No, I think
that was
more.
AJ nonstop. He'd pop at the mouth and
Well, you're putting yourself out there, and that's what we told him. And we're like, hey, look, dude, don't get hammered.
He didn't care.
Come in, and we're gonna do this thing. And he's like, Cox, I got it, dude. I'm a natural at this. I really am. I'm a natural. Just give me like a couple topics and I'll be fine. I'll throw zingers out there.
Mm-hmm. What do you need, coach?
And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
He must have called me 3 or 4 times. He's like, dude, any topics? I'm like, no, bro. We got no topics. None at all. He's like, all right. Well, what time?
I will say this.
And he was here 30 minutes early, by the way. He was here 30 minutes early. And I had to go get him in the parking lot. And I'm like, bro, are you going to come in? You can come in. He's like, well, it's your office. I didn't want to disrupt work. And I'm like, bro, your family, you come in anytime. When you pull in that parking lot, walk in the door and come say hi.
Yeah.
No, this group, right? This whole group is honestly, and I said this on the last one, this idea started with, and Jeff, you can attest to this, we talked about, Coxie, and I think you were there too, Gabe, like, let's podcast our draft. This league has got you, like, you all are some characters, right? And I just thought it would be fun to podcast our draft, maybe podcast us watching Red Zone. Like, the shit talking in this group is epic. And I don't want to move too far away from AJ because this is for him, but also this is our league.
Yeah.
And how many times did AJ win the league? Was it 3? Just 3?
3 times.
He did win it 3 times, yeah.
Yeah. There's a 2-time champ, me. And then Jeff, you've got 2, right?
I've got 2.
Davis, you've got 1.
I got 1. I know I came in many years after you too. So whatever you said earlier about AJ, I'll say the same about Cox. But okay, yeah.
There you go.
Make sure.
And Hoser just keeps taking.
I mean, we
McCaffrey.
can't not acknowledge.
No, that was a COVID one. That
hang
COVID.
on.
COVID
Okay, you're
doesn't
gonna.
count.
Okay, all right.
Hang on.
Fans are back.
Hoser keeps taking McCaffrey.
Oh yeah.
We have to talk a little fantasy.
Or
So
Seahawks.
we're going to talk about this.
Hella Seahawks.
Are you going to take McCaffrey 1 overall, bro?
No.
You're not.
That hasn't panned out.
So like the last 7 years, you've taken McCaffrey number 1 overall.
Yeah.
In the league
Yeah.
3.
Whatever.
2 of those have been 1-1 for Hoser. So
That's what I'm saying. It
Absolutely.
seems like he always gets McCaffrey 1-1.
If he
Well,
gets
it's
traded
just-
to the Seahawks.
Well,
he
Lynch
definitely-
isn't there anymore. Marshawn's gone.
Oh yeah, dude, the catfish.
You can you can, that's the one thing with Hose. You can always count on some Seahawks. Like
Seahawks
Wilson's
or
gone.
VJax. VJax is gone too.
Yeah.
So Seahawks or VJax, but Hoser always went after those
And I don't even know why. I'm not even.
Listen,
a Seahawks
Hoser
fan
gets a
necessarily.
life.
That's why we do it, dude, because
Hoser
we know
gets-
you're not a Seahawks fan, so we just keep blasting you.
Hoser gets a lifetime pass with me on anything. Like you can do no wrong in my book.
Oh, shit.
This guy took a knee board off the roof of a shed and broke his ass, and then we taped him in a trash can and rolled him down the stadium behind the home stadium at Madera. Like the
You
shit.
did that?
Oh yeah.
Montana to
I
San
never heard
Joaquin.
about that.
What was it that you said before? No, it's the funniest shit ever.
La Montaña de San Joaquin.
So we had a city trash can, right? I don't know.
San Joaquin Mountain?
Yes. So, but he like it was behind the football stadium
On the home
side. Yes.
On the home side. You ever been back there?
Yeah, and there's just like a fence that just runs into
Somehow-
the backyard of the.
Yeah.
No, somehow these guys got a city trash can up there inside the fence, taped this guy in it, And
Tape
that's
the
what,
lid closed?
yeah, yeah, and that's what
Stuffed up in there.
That's what he said before they pushed him down, and he just tumbles, and the lid flies open.
Fucking rack loose. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
And the knee board one, honestly, I wish we still had these videos.
Dude, the thing is, okay, so like with the knee board one, right? So I'm up on top. So used to live on Pine Street, and so the house behind me was owned by some old lady, and it was like a extra property. It never was rented. Anything. It sat there empty for years and years and years. So then we had this bright fucking idea. Well, fucking Hoser, are you down to go off the roof? You know, all right, yeah, I'm down. So I'm there, and Pond is getting this. I'm supposed to come off the roof and land on this trash can.
You had a couple piled up.
Yeah. All right, no problem. You know, and so I get up on this.
How old are you?
High school. You were still in high school.
Super
Probably
young.
15.
You
I
guys,
don't think we even had our licenses
sophomores
yet,
at the oldest.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it was summer between freshman and sophomore year.
And then so to backtrack too, Jackass hadn't even come out yet. This was all stuff that we had seen CKY.
CKY.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you were in the know, you know, it's like, oh, you know, yeah, this is right. Yeah. And then Jackass came out and they're like, oh yeah, oh dude, have you seen Jackass? Like, been watching them dudes for years, you know? Yeah. Anyways, so I go and you get up there. I'm up on this fucking peak, you know, with this thing. I'm trying to look, and I'm looking down there, you know. Oh fuck, you know, this is a pretty good way, you know. So I'm in there, I'm trying to get set up and whatnot, and I ask.
So what are you on?
He's on a knee board.
I got a knee board,
water skiing, like a knee board.
An actual knee board.
Yeah, just like you pull behind a towboat.
And they're gonna pull it?
No, he's gonna slide down
I'm
the
gonna
roof.
slide down the peak of the roof,
All right,
and then hit these.
Oh my God.
These trash cans are gonna lighten my fall. You know, yeah, apparently. So I get up there, dude. You know, right? Yeah, and I'm looking, and I'm telling. I asked Anthony. I go, hey, Pon, dude, you got those angled right? You know what I mean?
Are they lined up?
You got my. Oh, dude, he's like, oh, dude, this is geometry. I'm always good with geometry. Oh fuck, dude. So I get up there, dude, and you know, you're on this peak, and I'm looking down, and I'm like, I can't even see the trash cans. So I'm like, I know these fuckers are way short, dude. There's no way, you know. Yeah. So I'm like, Pon, are you sure? You know? Oh, dude, with geometry, I'm always right. Okay. So I get on this fucking. Gone. I whiffed the whole motherfucker.
He doesn't hit a one trash can.
Dude, yeah. I fall.
I think you barely skimmed.
I think I flat on my ass and I fall back and then I knock the fucking trash cans
Knocks him over. Missed him completely.
And you broke your tailbone or
Yeah,
what?
right.
I was totally fucked up. And so, but not only that though, then it's like, well, we didn't get the shot. So then the fuckers had me go back up there again, right? And he just slid him out a little bit more. And I'm like, dude, you got this for sure. You know, and by this time, I'm so nervous. You know, I'm up there, you know.
Well, you've already done it once at this point and ate
Broken
shit.
tailbone.
So now
Well,
you're
it's just, you know, this time I better hit the fucking trash can. You know, yeah, it's I don't want to land flat on my ass again. And then it was a better shot. I hit it and it buckled over and kind of sprung.
But you broke your ass on the first fall.
Broke my ass on the first fall.
Dude, two of my favorite videos of all time. Like, no joke. It was I can see it vividly in my head. It is so
just
funny.
him busting out of that
dude.
fuking trash can was so
going
fun.
down
As
the
you're
hill.
coming to the bottom. You're probably about 2 more turns until the bottom of the hill, and you just
I really
fucking
wish-
come flying out of that fucker.
I really
It's
wish
so
you guys
funny.
could see it. Back to I'm sorry, I totally took us off track there, but fantasy. Gabe, go ahead, Gabe, because I want to give you your moment. It's been a long time coming for this.
Gabe's okay. So I'm the commissioner of our league. Gabe won his first championship this year, and in his second year making the playoffs, he's been in the league the whole time.
He's been the cellar dweller forever.
You've been in since year one, my friend. Yes, you have. And you never made the playoffs until last week.
I'm a consolation monster. I come back
That's
to
true.
the
Yeah.
consolations.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
you're
think
a good 6th place finish guy. You're right.
But I won this year.
No, but he won. He won
And
this
I
year.
did win, dude.
He won.
I mean,
He had a
well,
good team this year.
Well, did your mom draft his team this year, or did he actually draft
Oh,
it?
no,
'Cause that's happened before. He went fishing for little trouts.
Yeah.
And,
Little trouts.
and skipped our
Didn't you guys
draft.
almost die?
Yeah,
Didn't
that
something
was
happen? You had to get like evacuated out of the.
Oh,
that was the
yes,
forest
yeah,
fire.
There was
Yeah.
a fire.
We went up. God, where's
Where were you, Mammoth Pool?
No, it was
dude,
like
the
golden
highest-
something.
Yeah, the highest place you could possibly
Yeah,
met. Like
remember.
it takes it's like an 8-hour hike.
It's like Fiji.
And there's two
Way up
places they plant golden trout in California, and that's one. And that's when the fires were bad, so we had to get evacuated out. And
I remember you sending the videos.
Yeah,
it
it was
was
crazy.
crazy, man.
I remember the little trouts too. They were like this big
no, they were
that you were
very good.
catching.
But they were gold.
And you missed
They were
our
like this-
fantasy draft for it.
Well, Sandy picked my team, and it was pretty good. I
Yeah,
think
you
I
had
took-
pretty
you
good.
made
Well,
the
you went to the
playoffs that
playoffs that year, yeah. But you ended
Yeah.
up, you won last year, dude. Congratulations, man. Good job.
Yeah, I can say honestly, AJ, if I look back, was the first one to congratulate me and tell me, "Good job, Chun. You did a good job this year." And
I would have said kinda. Yeah, I mean, it's,
I will
I'm not
say
gonna
this,
give you
this
credit.
league
I
is
don't give
not
anybody-
very.
I don't give anybody credit but myself. I mean, everybody knows that.
That is not a lie.
what we're going to talk about is all the bad trades AJ had to offer. Dude, that guy tried to scam me so many times, and I was looking back the other night at some of them, and I'm like, holy shit, I was going to trade him Jonathan Taylor, like for I think Chris Godwin and somebody else. He almost got me. And he was good at scamming people in trades.
that's so
and then
funny.
As soon as you accept it, oh, you suck. I
Well-
got you. You're the worst trader
Well, what did he say?
ever.
Only, what is it? When you guys only blockbusters.
Oh, yeah.
David and AJ are
Blockbuster trades.
Well, that's
blockbusters only.
But we AJ and I had a side deal again. Okay, this is all true. I'll show you guys the text. I mean, these are all legit. And in the league that I had everybody get hurt, that you finally won, that I'm normally in the playoffs in, and I've won twice.
Can never give
Okay,
credit.
that
No, you
league-
can't, bro.
No, so that league, I was in the cellar this year. I had to fight my way out of the cellar because of injuries and everything else. But I told AJ, I go, look, dude, I got some firepower. I'm gonna trade you in this league to get you in the playoffs. But remember this, next year. Remember this, And he goes, Cox, I got you. I gave you Diggs. Remember, I gave you Diggs when I mean we totally shenanigan the
Yeah.
whole league on getting Diggs. By the way, that was all.
So wait a
That
minute.
was designed.
Are you admitting that you cheated?
Wait, hold
No,
on a
I
I heard
second.
it. I heard it.
No,
He
I'm
admitted
not. My last name's not right.
it. He admitted it.
My last name's
You
not
cheated.
right.
You,
Say
you,
it,
you
Jeff.
just said
Wait,
you were going to
hold
give him
on,
somebody
hold
to
on
get
a
him in the
second.
I mean, it was
playoffs.
all within the rules. I mean, AJ and I had we had a side deal going on. That if I traded him in this league, he'd trade me in the other league.
I'm not editing this.
What's wrong with that?
So we can always go back and listen.
Yeah, this
But
is
you know what?
definitely going to
Hey.
get
I think there's got to be some kind of
put into
penalty.
evidence
I
right
mean-
here, for sure.
penalty.
That's like
fine.
I've been saying I won
told
Dynasty
you guys
League
I'll show
this
you
year.
the text messages.
Hey,
I don't
before
care.
we go any further, I'm going to you better watch your lips because you're getting a little bit
One
too,
handed.
I'll watch them responsibly, but I mean,
You're breaking rules here. Watch your lips.
Gabe, if you want to talk about cheating, we can get into what happened in the Dynasty League. Okay, and you not paying attention.
Okay, I
to the
will ask this:
spreadsheet.
Did you knowingly?
100% ask Jeff. I called him and I told him. AJ called me.
The problem is, Gabe, hang on. I'm going to interrupt you because if you called him, he's going to believe you because
should
you're trying to
believe me.
tell on yourself, and I know for a fact you cheated.
Did I cheat?
Yeah, because
I didn't
there's a
know I
lapse
cheated.
in what happened.
Hold on,
in between.
explain what happened.
Okay, guys. All right,
I will
hold
explain
on,
to you what
hold on.
happened. AJ, I didn't know that we were getting penalized for drafting when we were out of fob points.
Closer's done with this conversation.
Yeah,
Say
I didn't
fab.
know we were getting penalized.
Fob?
Fab, whatever the hell it's called.
All right,
French,
okay,
bro.
But
My key
before
fob.
we start here, let's just preface
Fob,
this.
fob.
This issue was my fault, 100% for not keeping on everybody and.
And AJ's the first one who
Yeah,
messed
Jeff.
it up.
Yeah.
No shit. It cost me some
Yeah,
dough.
well, you
I
got
still-
you got your buy-in back, so I
I'm
don't
getting
wanna
my
hear it,
trophy
you
still. I
know,
don't give a
yeah.
shit.
I had a good team.
So this was all my fault for not paying attention. I had a lot of stuff going on down to the end of the season, and I kind of just let things go. So I apologize for that. We're not going to let that happen again this year.
I say
up, and-
we get a new commissioner.
I mean, you guys
You've
can
been
fucking
saying that for 7 years.
Go ahead. Jesus
I like Cox.
Christ.
Cox is a good commissioner.
I am a good commissioner. I
Yeah,
mean, I
but seriously,
have
who's
several
going to put
leagues
the
and
time in? Like Jeff, we can make.
I'm not going to make a 20-hour
I know we like to tease
spreadsheet.
him,
I'm just
but-
going to tell you guys these are the rules, and if you don't follow them, here's what happens.
And
I'm going to
the guy
enforce
wears his starter kit is fantastic. He wears plaid, tight designer jeans,
Yeah.
vest.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
you have
the guy coming from the guy who's wearing a vest.
I knew I was coming here. I wanted to be part of the starter kit.
Shout out real quick to Buchanan Wrestling.
I'm wearing a vest, too.
State champions. And how many state champions do you guys have? 3?
We had 3 this year.
Yeah,
we had
3 state championships, but
5 finalists.
you've had, 6 in the last 8 years? Is that right? 7 in the last
7 years, yeah.
6 in the last 7 years.
Don't you have some national titles in there?
We were the best public school national champions, but you're not beating the private private prep schools like Blair Academy.
It's not one and the same.
But I mean, Gabe's a helping hand. He's not, he's not really the guy, but he's definitely a helping hand. I mean,
Gabe cleans the mats.
Gabe's
He's
actually a
Jeff,
former state
let's see where
championship
this-
from
let's
Clovis
just-
High School. Hang on.
Go ahead.
Gabe's actually a former state champion from Clovis High School, right? That's when you left Madera.
Yes.
You left us, and you went to Clovis.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be a Coyote anymore. You wanted to be a Cougar.
Yeah, we won a team title as well. I wanted.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, you betrayed the Madera Coyotes, and
I'm not going to fault him for that.
Yeah,
he did what was best for him.
I got
he went to college and got a full ride scholarship out of it, dude. He wouldn't.
He would have got a full ride scholarship from Madera High School too, Jeff. I mean, you know what? Don't come to his rescue all the time. I know you guys have been childhood friends, but this is bullshit. I was calling. I'm saying that congratulations to the Buchanan High School wrestling team, complete dominance for a decade almost, and
you followed up with kind of congratulations to Gabe.
I know.
Yeah, kind of congratulations to Gabe, but Troy and the team, great job.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate you always watching our matches.
I'm a big supporter, man. I used to wrestle you at Town and Country Park and pin you constantly.
Number 1.
I mean, that's
Jeff,
a true
can
story.
I ask you, was there anything you weren't a gold medalist at?
I might have had a few silvers.
How many medals you got?
More than you guys.
You know what? I heard,
more than all of you.
Well, I could
combined,
tell an embarrassing story, Jeff. Right?
Hold on.
Can you tell an embarrassing story? Please do.
Okay, so
hold on just a second.
All right, go ahead.
I think me and Jeff argue about this all the time, but I'm going to be honest. I think I'm the best athlete in this room.
That is absolutely not true, Gabe. I mean, you were a good wrestler, but I pinned you.
If we're going off every
the last time we wrestled, you lost. And the 15 times before that, you lost.
Let's throw in ping pong, golf, all of it.
Okay, let's talk about golf real quick because you and I played a round of golf, and we played with Puma.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to him. And we had to stop playing because there was a group of old ladies behind us. They were probably 75, 80 years old. And because Gabe had taken 15 strokes on hole number 3.
It was 9.
She came up and she goes.
She said, "Hey, can you guys speed this up?"
Yeah, she goes. Can we play? Can we play through?
Play through.
Yeah. Can we play through? And I go, please. I got to play with this guy all day. So go ahead.
Sorry for my friend here. He's a little slow.
That is true.
They don't golf in France.
But Jeff, you had an embarrassing story. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when Jeff used to come over to our house when we were kids, he used to eat all our ham up, and my dad, we used to get hella mad at you.
I'd eat your ham?
Yeah, you just like go into the fridge and grab pieces of ham and shit,
just like
stuff them in your mouth. Pretty much. Dog, I love ham. Just fucking grub it on ham. My dad come home. Where'd all the ham go? Oh, Cox ate it. Fucking Cox.
That's not embarrassing. That's not embarrassing, dude.
Okay, so I want to say something, and it was kind of one of those things where I never had snacked like that ever in my life until I went over to Cox's house as a kid. Mm-hmm. You talk about this ham. Dude, his dad always had these fucking little things of pastrami, and they were, like you said, you open it up and it was like supposed to make like 3 or 4 sandwiches. Dude, we would hang out, dude, and we would just pound these packages of little pastramis, dude. Yeah, just like single serve, and it's like, no, bro, that's supposed to go like
and Mountain Dews, man.
Mountain Dews.
Hey, I know. So you can say you were the best athlete. I don't give. Is he the most competitive guy in this room?
No. I'm pretty competitive as well. Jeff.
You're pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Gabe, you don't sound like you're really confident in saying this. You're looking at me when you're telling me.
I give Jeff a lot of shit sometimes because I told him today, how many gold medals you got? Like, there's nothing this guy did not excel at.
I'll give you
Water
that
polo,
because
polo,
Dude,
he still can't congratulate me on winning my fantasy football
I
championship.
was a great water polo player, but I did congratulate
the best.
you.
He's like
and
Donald
the
Trump
Buchanan
over
High
here.
School wrestling team.
He can't congratulate me. I am a great water polo player.
It's true. Dude.
I didn't say anything. You know I love you.
All right.
I do.
I mean, I don't know who's more competitive.
Are you trying to tell me
Hey,
you're
who
a
was
better?
better in power key?
Cox was the fucking man in Power Key.
All right,
dude.
bro.
Cox was the
What's
man.
Power Key?
Power key was
See,
a game we made up when we were kids, and I dominated
Power
these
Key,
fools.
American Gladiators, dude, all
that
these
shit.
games, dude. We just,
He would only
Hide
pick
and
the
go
games
seek in the dark.
Yeah, the only game he picked the games he can win.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Like baseball, come on. That was unfair. We talked about playing derby at the Little
Jake,
League
we're
Park.
talking about 5-tool player versus 2-tool player.
5-tool.
So, do
So
we really
Cox-
want to get into this?
Cox, how much older are you than us?
I'm going to be 40 this year.
Gold medal.
Oh wow, so 37. I'm 30. I just turned 37 in January. So you're picking on kids like 3-4 years younger.
Yeah, that's why I dominated.
Who's the bully now?
That's why I
So I know we're getting a
Gold
little further
medals.
away, but we all got to say real quick, who's the greatest athlete of our time? I got two in mind.
From
Of
Madera?
Kids, yes, from Madera. I got two in mind.
Then Sam.
Steve McKess and Mark Beyer.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that, honestly. And watching
I
those
mean,
guys
they-
was pretty amazing. Mark was such a fantastic athlete when we were kids. So. And you just
Of our time, or
our time,
Because I
like-
mean, I've been around doing Madera baseball for a long time. So
Well, not just baseball, just everything.
because I would say Bayer and
But
recently,
Beyer was good at everything.
yes, but like Alec Gamboa was a pretty freak
Yeah,
athlete. But he's
Steve
more
McKesson-
recent.
Steve
Steve
McKesson
absolutely.
could go out and try something and be like the best ever at it. I mean,
Yeah,
he
he
got
was-
to walk on for the Raiders. I remember when he was like I think when he was like 22, 23, they invited him to go try out. It's like, dude, how the hell? You didn't even train. He just was a freaking athlete. So,
Well, when we were growing up, nobody was better than Mark Beyer. Nobody.
Jesse Zapata
I mean,
was in there too.
No. God, don't even give that guy credit, man.
He might watch this.
I hope he watches. No way. But Mark Beyer was, tragic event that happened with him.
Yeah.
Right. That kind of pivoted his career a little bit, but he was a phenomenal athlete, man. In every sport. That's a guy that
Yeah.
would. You talk about ping pong, badminton, like. I grew up with him, and it's
Yeah,
like,
he had
dude,
the
this
ping
guy would
pong
just pick
table
it
at
up
his house,
and just natural.
That guy
Like,
could
good at
throw some
everything.
horseshoes too. Hell of a horseshoe player.
Damn, everything? Shit.
Well, we're not going to give him credit. He's a buddy of mine. I love him, but
Well, because nobody's better than horseshoes than Jeff.
no,
Let's be
probably
real.
not.
Absolutely.
Rig might be
Who's the
better.
best
at-
shit talker
Big
in
Rig
this-
might be
this
better
league?
at eating corn dogs than
Oh,
me.
dude,
But
no.
Hey,
that's
so
about
wait a
it.
second. I forgot. So Jeff said that you might like to take credit for that nickname. Or
Corn dog.
Jeff, I
Dude,
definitely made that up.
I mean, it was so
I
long
made-
ago, and
Pat,
I
your
remember
Uncle
Pat
Pat.
and
Uncle
and,
Pat, no,
and,
I
and
said
Jeff
it.
and Pa, Jeff
I
was saying it all
made
the
it
time.
up.
Dude.
I called you
Hang
corn
on,
dog.
let me mediate this because he said that it was Hoser's parents and Uncle Pat.
I
He
called
said
him-
Gabe would take credit for the corn dog nickname.
Definitely
but
made him called him corn dog.
So the only thing I know is that like my cousin Teddy, for the longest time, that's all he ate was corn dogs and 2 pieces of white bread slapped together with fucking Miracle Whip in the middle. That's all he had. So when we
did he
would
have
go,
the stick
was that
outside of the
together?
bread?
Was that all together?
Did he take the stick out before he put it in the bread?
no, it was corn dog. It was
Was it
corn
corn
dog
dog
or
bread and mayonnaise?
no,
Miracle Whip sandwich.
no,
Separate.
it was a Miracle Whip sandwich.
Okay, separate. Because
yeah.
I thought what he was saying, I was like, wait a minute.
Oh no.
Yeah, he slapped the corn
Bread
dog in the
mayonnaise
middle of
around
the
the corn
two
dogs?
white.
I mean, honestly, that doesn't sound all that crazy.
I'm not saying, but I think that's where it originated at with us going over to Richie and Teddy's house, hanging out, spending nights and shit like that. You go in there, you go with the Costco, right? I don't know, fucking, it's got like 120 fucking corn dogs in there. You have me, Big Right, Richie, Teddy, and whoever else was over there.
Me, because I lived right.
And they're gone in the morning.
Right in there.
Yeah, we're
Gabe,
just
all right,
corn
and
dogs.
then in the morning they're gone. Who ate all the corn dogs? Jeff. Goddamn corn dogs! That's how I see that happening.
Ate 120 corn dogs from Costco.
That's what it's gotten to. It was probably 3 or 4 at that time, but now it's like
every time you tell the story, it gets higher.
You add about 10 more to corn dogs,
absolutely,
which is fine with me. I'm totally cool.
Dude, the Wright House, I remember this, the Kool-Aid, bro. You remember
Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, dog. You fucking every time. Come on, Jake. Make me some Kool-Aid.
I'd always have to tell Jeff to make the Kool-Aid because he made it. He always made a good Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And homie,
Put hella sugar.
They would get mad at
sugar.
me. No, they would get mad because I'd ask them to make the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You fucking make the. No,
you make it better.
they do. I would
We
say
did
that
make it
shit.
better.
They did. They make it better. And they always had like, you want cereal? Go to the Wright House. They got.
Oh, for sure. Dude, cereal and DVDs. These motherfuckers had a DVD collection like you would not believe, man. You
How
go
my
up.
brother's ass.
Oh,
They were
fuck,
brother
dude. You would go up to the second story and you look to your right, dude, and there's just you know,
whole
like
bookshelf full of DVDs.
Community library.
Hey,
of
do you think your
DVDs,
dad would
everything.
be upset if I embarrassed him right now?
I'll go for it. I don't think
Because
he cares.
he said DVDs, but your dad used to walk out in BVDs.
Oh sure.
And he was fired up when we would be up all night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, we would just be roughhousing like crazy, man. Throwing the stuffed animals. Remember that game
in the
that we
Sundance
played?
house, right? Yeah, 'cause
And
my
dude,
parents
he'd
had that
come
house
out in his
all the way in the-
BVDs
yeah.
and he'd just be pissed. Like, you guys need to fucking go to bed now. And I'm like, all right, John, we'll go to bed. And Darren's
Nope.
like, hey, just give it like 10 minutes.
just
He'll be asleep and we'll be good again.
Just be quiet for like 10, 20 minutes, dude. They'll be asleep, and then we can get right back on it. Yeah, we had that front living room all the way on the
Yes.
other side of the house, and we
Yeah.
just fucking.
That was on
used to-
Sundance.
Yeah, the house on Sundance. Yeah,
Yep.
they had the room all the way in the back. So as long as we kept it somewhat quiet.
We went like on a major tangent. We were going to talk about.
Fantasy football.
You were apologizing for what happened in the Dynasty.
Oh, in the
League.
Dynasty League, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Gabe. And I'm sorry to the league.
I just
that
want to
didn't-
make sure I get that asterisk trophy.
Yeah, and Jacob should have won the championship because he literally won the championship. But
I don't care about the money. I want the hardware so I can tell Jeff to fuck
Yeah.
off.
So
I
Well,
got
that was the
more.
Dynasty
I think
League.
it's fine. I got more.
Well, you were. Let's be real. You had a pretty good season. You were in the
both leagues.
championship
you won
in both
the one
leagues.
and then freaking made the championship in the other league, man. You had a good year this year.
Can I hear from you?
Absolutely not.
I mean, you
I'll give
know, it was an okay season.
Cox,
I
you know,
know.
he got all his tips and everything for his fantasy league from all the Clovis guys. Like, fucking,
I went on
all
my
his
other
Clovis
he
leagues.
looks at whatever I'm doing on the waiver wire.
You know
and
what?
then he
You know what
does
Gabe's
copy
always
that.
said is Gabe's like, man, if you guys could just see how well I do in my other
So
leagues.
dominant.
Yes.
So
And then
dominant.
I'm actually in another league with Gabe, and he didn't make the playoffs. So I know for a fact
But
that he's
other
lying
That
now.
that was actually the one league that I
He
didn't
means
win.
the other leagues.
Oh, you mean
Not
the
that.
other
I won.
ones?
I won
The
The
other
other
leagues
ones
this
that
year.
we're all not in.
The
So you
other-
were in
other.
3
I can
together.
show
So
you.
the other ones. Okay.
I had quite the fantasy year this year. So
I mean, we can't deny it, guys. I know we like to pick. I don't pick on Gabe, but you guys love to pick on Gabe.
yeah.
Well, he's
love
been
being-
the smallest of all of us for years.
I mean, for AJ,
I mean,
for
you are a state
AJ's
champion.
sake,
I'll give you
I
that,
like
but
being
that's
a punching
about
bag.
it.
I like it.
I
yeah.
think for
I like being
AJ's sake,
abused.
AJ being the first one to reach out to you, I think, you guys, for AJ, should be okay with Jeffrey. I'm talking to you. Okay, and congratulating Gabe.
I said, kinda. It was a good job.
I would
Kinda.
say, speaking of AJ, his fantasy football league and our dynasty league was the shittiest team.
Dude,
Yes.
so
Yes.
He ran out of his money
Yeah.
in the first 3 picks.
Yeah.
Like, dude, who does that? This is my first
AJ
year doing
does.
a
AJ does.
dynasty, and I was like,
I think
I
because
can't run out of money.
I think because he thought he could go after that. There wasn't, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you talk about a bad team. That was a really bad team. I mean, he was
Megadeth.
literally like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
and so yeah, that's where the name of the last episode came from. Was AJ's team was Megadesk. In Dynasty, in our other league, it was Rambo,
And I think this one's going to be named Remembering Rambo.
Yeah.
or I don't know. I thought maybe making it Regulators. Our league name.
Regulators.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I will say, without AJ, it's going to be hard. Like,
Yeah.
having him in the league was just, God, you wake up every Sunday, him talking shit and like, man.
Sundays, Sunday's the day, man.
He was
so vocal on there.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as he gets started, it's like, oh shit.
But you know, hey, and you know what? Like the thread would die down, and then he would just throw a zinger in, dude, and he'd be calling everybody Austrian Jews or whatever, like I said earlier.
My favorite,
and then it would just start rolling, you know, and then there's 100 text messages because AJ would just keep it going.
Is Say It Jeff, which is from Gabe.
Say it,
and
Jeff.
the second is it'd be Say It Jeff. My dad's in this thread because the vulgarity or some of the things. I mean, let's be real, Gabe. You kind of light some fires in that thread.
Yeah, I accidentally cussed at Mr. Wright one time.
Seriously,
we've got Later Gator. We've got some great stuff, Gabe. You've provided some great stuff.
That's my team name now. That's you said you didn't know what ghosting was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you getting ghosted by that chick, and she's telling you Later, Gator. That's what happened.
I didn't know we were going to get into the details. To where the name came from.
This chick on Facebook said, you know what, I don't know why you're stalking me, but you keep doing it, and you know what, Later, Gator. That's what happened. Isn't that the story you told me, Gabe?
That is not the story.
I think that was his reply, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was my reply.
Hoser, come on, bro.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure she had said that. Hey, this guy is
he's totally lying.
He's slandering Gabe right now.
Yeah.
Hoser,
it wasn't
dude,
even
come
me.
on, bro.
It wasn't even me. And I told
It would have been a much better story if it would have been her saying Later, Gator to him.
It was somebody I knew from high school, and she said somebody else, and I told him about it, and he goes, "Oh, it's totally. I'm going to tell the guys it was you." So he made his name Later Gator. Which I think that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Naming my team name after you getting ghosted.
I think the other funny thing with AJ too is he knowingly would make things political in our threads.
Absolutely. Is that how I thought we were going to talk about politics.
No, because Jeff would always make sure to say like, "Hey, we're no politics in this thread, like in this fantasy group, guys."
Well,
no, I'm not trying to.
Hang on.
Because some of us don't agree on everything.
Hang on.
Say it, Jeff. I don't want to
So,
politics
we got him to the edge of the cliff. Okay, Gabe, AJ, and I got Jeff to the edge of the cliff. He's like, "Okay, guys, listen. This is a fantasy football league. We cannot talk about politics anymore. Okay, we just can't."
Well, shit was super polarizing at that point, dude.
Yeah.
And like people were mad, and like we were, it's.
But he was calling you like what? What did he call you?
Well, he always called me a communist all the fucking
Yeah.
time. Every goddamn day, that guy called me a communist, and I loved it. You know,
And he hated Joe Biden. And
Let's go, Brandon. He was all about
let's
that,
go,
dude.
Brandon. And
Well, the Gabe's like Biden's on my fantasy team.
you know what though, Jeff? It bring that not to get
Biden's my
not to
MVP.
get off on a tangent, but AJ would want me to ask this question specifically to you. Okay, is what do you contribute the gas prices skyrocketing to?
Jesus Christ.
We don't have
honest
know,
answer. I mean,
What do I attribute the gas prices to? Greedy fucking corporations that fucking want to make money off of a fucking tragedy in Eastern Europe right now. That's what I attribute it to.
what do you think his response would be? Honestly,
What do I think his response?
his response, in your words, would be what?
Fucking communist.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was telling us that when we were over there. Remember?
He was going on one.
Because
Oh,
Russia
yeah.
had just started, and it was like, this is all Biden's fault.
it's all
he was just,
Biden.
dude, and it was conspiracy after conspiracy after conspiracy.
Biden's closed all of our refineries. We can't do anything.
Yeah.
We can't do this, can't do that. And it's just like, hey, bro, fucking.
But he would love to throw those zingers in, man, to rattle you.
Oh, yeah, he would do it all the
just
time,
stick
and
that knife in and dig.
Twist it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we had tons of conversations like that, as you know, when I would go over and there was a lot of times where it was just me and him, on Sunday fun days, and we just
Sure.
just take bong rip after bong rip and talk about God, talk about freaking politics, whatever, dude. We would just go and go and go, and we'd have these in-depth, hour-long conversations, and then all of a sudden I'd just be like, yeah, dude, I just think healthcare should just be out there, and he'd just be, you fucking communist.
Did you guys talk about Dalvin Cook at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Dalvin Cook?
I would never have him on my team.
What?
Really?
No.
Here, why don't you scoot over and sit next to Jake?
It wasn't Dalvin Cook.
Adrian Peterson, you're talking about.
No.
Because
He's trying to roast me right now, and it's very poorly done.
No.
The
dude.
execution sucks on this.
I'm asking what they think about Dalvin Cook because you apparently don't like him.
I never said that.
Great running back.
And not only that,
Thank you,
I
Later.
did responsibly fix this. Cover the valley in green.
Yeah. Yeah, the valley's covered in green.
My
But Pat
passionate
Hill's gonna paint it
fan
red.
friend here.
Well, whatever.
Why are you trying to throw me on the bus right there?
I just asked them a question of what they thought about Dalvin Cook. That's
I
it.
messed
you
up.
like
I
Dalvin
said I
as well.
messed up. Jeff, you heard it. I
Yeah,
messed
no,
up.
I heard you, and you
This guy.
rectified it.
Just trying to.
You guys both. We all make mistakes.
All
when
the
we
shit
talk.
he
It's fine.
sends me behind, like you know what I mean. All the Instagram, you know.
You DMing?
Oh yeah, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He's all up in the DMs.
DMs, bro.
Creeper. Love it.
This is fun, man.
We got to get on and talk some fantasy, guys. All of us.
Yeah, for sure.
You
That'd
know,
be fun.
Yeah, maybe when the season kicks up, we
Gets
can
close.
get us
Yeah,
all
it'd be
back
fine.
in
Yeah,
here and
but
kind of get a kickoff show.
Yeah, but this one we want to dedicate to our brother AJ because he is our brother and we love him dearly and we miss him and he's going to be in our hearts forever. And it's going to be tough, but you know what? He would want us to pull together. I know he would, and we're going to have to figure out what we do on the fantasy side of things, but he's definitely would want that to move forward as well. But guys, thank you for coming in. This was absolutely awesome and therapeutic.
For sure.
I think we all needed this, and we're going to do it again for sure.
Can I real quick?
Of course.
I know AJ. If he were here, I mean,
He's here,
I know,
bro.
I know he's here. He doesn't want us to be sad. He wants us to be happy. He wants us to enjoy his life. Like I said, if he saw any of us crying today, he'd probably make fun
Absolutely.
of us. And so,
Except me. He always saw me.
probably
I
not.
cry all
But
the
he-
time, dude.
but
And
AJ
knocking into shit
yeah.
and
I think-
crying while you're doing it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think he would really, really, really want us. And I'll be honest, I've been kind of gone for a while. I missed you guys too. And so just like you said, timing earlier, like AJ brought us together again. And like you said, this is therapeutic. So rest in peace, brother. I love you, AJ. We all do. And, you know, we'll miss him.
100%.
Yep.
Anybody else?
You guys got anything?
Say Jeff. Oh, no, I'm getting tired, dog.
Jeff hella cheats.
I hella cheat all the
Say
time.
it, Jeff.
The right boys always
Pee
cheat.
off.
We try to get our things. No,
Trade with your dad and your brother.
Trade with my dad. We do ad drops together. It's great. No, I love the guy. I'm gonna miss him so much. You know, he was such a good friend to me. You know, I feel for his family, and I feel for everybody here. You know, we were all close to him, and you know, he's, you know, obviously been a big part of our lives because if he wasn't, you know, we wouldn't be here right now memorializing and talking to him, you know, talking about him for the past hour and 30 minutes or whatever, and, you know, doing everything that we do. And thank you guys for, you know, helping me through this time because, you know, we were very, very close. I mean, he was in my wedding. I was the best man at his wedding. You know, Hoser and I were, you know, he was in with myself in Hoser's wedding too. You know, we were all very close, and just it honestly feels like I'm missing a part of myself, you know, at the moment. And, you know, I'm hoping to just kind of keep that with me and, you know, continue to live my life and make sure that I do right by him, you know, and make sure that I'm going to go out there and still, you know, be the person that he wanted me to be, you know, and not just this hermit that's going to sit around and not do anything because he said I deserve to be out there and, you know, brighten up everybody's lives like I brightened up his and like he did with mine. So I love you, bro. I'm going to miss you so much. You know, thank you guys so much for having me and being around. So
Well said.
Yeah, I think to piggyback off that a little bit too is this is just us. I mean, think about all the friends he had, then people that he impacted, and Like these are just some stories. Like,
And what's tough is they're all similar.
yeah,
They all got to be similar
Yeah,
stories.
I bet you.
Everybody's got an AJ zinger that they like. Everybody's got an AJ story that, this guy did this for me, helped me here. He called me when I was at my lowest, whatever it may be. Just AJ was constantly a dude that would reach out.
Yeah.
Or if he knew you were in need, AJ somehow knew how to, hey, man, I wanna go to lunch.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. Absolutely made you go about your day 100 times better than the previous day.
yeah, man. He definitely left his mark. And like I said last time, I wished I'd have known him longer. I wished I had some of the stories you guys had. But I am glad that I did get to know him. And again, that's to you guys. I thank you guys for that. And
Well, I think it all centers back to Hoser. I'm going to hit you with what you said in the beginning. It's timing. And he would love this. He would love that we're all here together and we're honoring him and dedicating these things to him. I mean, this is a very small gesture, but it's something that I know AJ would appreciate. And he would appreciate more that we were all together, doing this together, because we're doing it for somebody else. And that's what AJ was always about.
Yeah.
He was always about doing it for somebody else.
And it's funny, like you just said, Davis said the story that we were at his house. He was telling us how great it was, how he'd want to do a podcast. He'd want to be, here, everything like that. And here we are all talking, and fucking, this is his podcast.
Yeah.
He brought us all together
crazy.
so that
This
we
is
can
him.
do this. Yeah.
This is him.
It's weird.
And we're going to continue to honor him, throughout the year and forever. I mean, he's a brother, like I said. And guys, I appreciate you coming in. This is Watch Your Lips. You can find us at @WatchYour_lips on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Also up on YouTube. So this concludes episode 11. AJ, we love you, brother. And like I said before, man, fly with the angels and stay with us because we know you're here. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Love you, brother.
Love you,
Thanks.
AJ.
We're talking about this bad boy right here.
Oh, shit.
You're talking about that sucker right there.
That's it, buddy. Look at that.
Merry Christmas, bud.
Thanks,
30
man.
30
Let's go
years.
in the office. Thank you.
30 years in the making right there.
Hey, that does. It's got a yellow tint to it now, man. But it's
yeah.
got the old logo. I love it, dude. Thank you.
It got the sticker for large. That sucker's a small easily.